So that's the beauty of the SBA, is that if you're in business for over 2 years and you got cash flow and your credit's good, you can do 100% on business expansion. So you can keep doing that until you have $5 million of SBA financing. So I don't know the size of the deal, but you can, in theory, do this a couple times, right? If you're buying $1 million properties or $800,000 properties, like many of these operators are buying $600 to $1 million properties. So you can buy a few of these like that. So I would definitely look into the SBA 7A.
Gretchen says, hello, Bo. I have worked as an employee in the assisted living space for the past 10 years. I'm trying to go out on my own and start a home. What would the process be for getting financing lined up? Thanks.
All right, Gretchen. So great, you have experience. It's always a plus. You know the industry. And so I'm figuring you're going to do like a residential assisted living facility. You want to buy a house and then retrofit it, put in the bathrooms and do all that, maybe add a couple bedrooms. So in order for you to do this from an SBA point of view, is you got to have your licensing pretty much dialed in. I mean, you have to, is the property zoned? Is it residentially zoned? You have to get a variance. If you do the legwork up front and we're ready to close on the SBA side, and SBA is viable for sure. But sometimes it's going to take you several months to get the permits and stuff. You want to do an extended escrow and just let them know, the seller, that you need time to do this. Now, if you go and buy an existing residential assisted living facility, that's a different story. We just get 3 years of tax returns year to date, and it's just a normal SBA loan. But you can get these done both ways. It's just when you're starting from scratch, you want to have the permits and licensing all lined up. At least, a worst case scenario, if you have the proof that you sent in the application and all that stuff, sometimes we can get by there. It's kind of case by case on these if you're starting from scratch. But buying an existing, that's pretty standard. So Gretchen, happy to discuss these. We do a lot of assisted living and happy to help you navigate this. So thanks for the question.
Hi, if you'd like to book a call with me and discuss SBA financing, whether it's a 7A or 504, or you just don't know where to start, maybe it's a startup business, you're buying an existing business, you're buying a franchise, you're building a new office building, you want to expand your existing business, we have multiple solutions. I can walk you through the 7A and the 504 and the SBA loan process. And if you have any other questions on any other types of financing, I'm happy to book a call with you. The link's below. Look forward to seeing you soon.
All right. This one comes from Laura. She says, my husband and I own an assisted living facility. It was a home and we remodeled and added 3 bedrooms. We have run the business for the past 3 years and we are looking at expanding in our market. We would like to purchase another property. What would our options be to finance the property build-outs and FF&E? We have a conventional loan on our property now. The property has a bunch of equity and our business is cash flowing well. What would be some good options? We have great credit, etc. The typical good credit people. So what would you suggest?
All right. So a lot of people that are doing these small, I'll call them smaller ALF projects, meaning they're like single family homes. They're not these big 100-unit properties. They're like single family homes. And then they might add some bedrooms. That's what Laura and her husband did on this. But they bought it originally with a conventional loan because it wasn't an ALF, so they could get conventional financing, which is cool because you can get cheap cost of funds and it's easy to qualify for. Well, you've been in business for over 3 years. It sounds like on paper you cash flow, your credit's good, all that stuff. So since you've been in business for over 3 years, you can do an expansion loan and potentially get up to 100% financing on your new acquisition. So I would, by using some of your equity that you got too. So what I would do possibly is do an SBA 7A loan, fund the acquisition and all the FF&E and the build out, if you're going to add bedrooms or whatever. And on an expansion, you can get up to 100% financing. So if you didn't have to come in with equity, wouldn't that be great? Or option 2 is potentially you can pull some equity out of your existing property and then just do a separate SBA loan on the new expansion and use some of the equity for the down payment on that expansion. But I think probably the way it would work the best, if the money's sitting there, is use that equity and then do an expansion, get 100% financing on the purchase of the new property, the build out, and all the FF&Es. So that's the beauty of the SBA, is that if you're in business for over 2 years and you got cash flow and your credit's good, you can do 100% on business expansion. So you can keep doing that until you have $5 million of SBA financing. So I don't know the size of the deal, but you can, in theory, do this a couple times, right? If you're buying $1 million properties or $800,000 properties, like many of these operators are buying $600,000 to $1 million properties. So you can buy a few of these like that. So I would definitely look into the SBA 7A. We've got a book on SBA financing. We'll link below if you want to look at that. You can also book a call if you want to dive into the details of SBA financing for ALFs or assisted living facilities.
Meet Bo Eckstein, the driving force behind Business Ownership Coach, unlocking the path to business ownership. Visit www.businessownershipcoach.com. Thrive with Business Ownership Coach.
Hey guys, Bo Eckstein here. If you enjoyed what you saw, please subscribe to this channel. We talk all things financing. I've been in the lending industry for over 20 years, and I'm happy to answer your questions and provide great content.